all alone, no chaperone can get our number. The world's in slumber, let's misbehave. There's something wild about you, child, that's so contagious. Let's be outrageous, let's misbehave.
Everything you wanted to know about sex, asterisk, but were afraid to ask, is a 1972 comedy directed by Woody Allen and starring Woody Allen, Louise Lasser, Lou Jacoby, John Carradine, Lynn Redgrave, Gene Wilder, Regis Philbin, Tony Randall, and Burt Reynolds. The film opens at the Cadbury plant. Then we get asked a question, hey, it's Game of Thrones. The fool fails at hilarity and the king is pissed, making me wonder why execution wasn't an option. This is called stalking. This is called assault.
Hearken to me, if my husband the king and my son the doctor walketh near upon these paved paths, and heareth what thou sayest about copping a feel, thy life would not be worth a plug nickel.
It isn't already? The ghost of the fool's father appears and tells him that he cannot rest until he mounts the queen. Then he goes to get roofies.
And the queen's drink will make her blood boil.
Wow, we are already in rough waters on this one. Dry ice always makes me horny. The fool delivers the drink and she's ready to go. Here's an awkward Woody Allen sex scene.
Ouch, and laugh. What is this? Now, with most grievous dispatch, I will open the latch and get to her snatch.
Whoa! He gets the lock open, but the king is on his way, and the fool ends up locked in the belt, getting busted, and goodbye. Man, we are all in now. Gene Wilder!
None.
Dr. Ross has a thriving practice when Mr. Milos drops this bombshell on him.
I'm in love with a sheep.
I beg your pardon?
I am in love with a sheep.
Milos feels that his lover Daisy has fallen out of love with him and wants Dr. Ross to talk to her.
Speak to her, please.
I can't talk to a sheep. Are you nuts?
Yep. He brings Daisy in and...
As a matter of fact, if I could see Daisy alone, maybe...
Oh... Did he just swallow that mouthful of scope? He takes Daisy to a hotel and, dear Lord.
Do you want the do not disturb sign on the door?
All right, yes. Thank you very much.
You better tip that guy to keep his mouth shut. Then they get it on. So we've got date, rape, drugs, and bestiality. We're 2 for 2 so far. Eventually this happens.
Anne! Wait a minute, I can explain.
This leads to Daisy leaving him and his life now completely in the toilet. Question? What did any of that have to do with sodomy? Huh, the more things change. Okay, there's a wedding. They're Italian. They go to a room and here's some post-hump antics followed by more Italian. I'm not following any of this. Well, I followed that. I guess it turns out that exhibitionism turns her on. I don't know, moving on. No, that was addressed at the end of Psycho. This one probably isn't going to age well at all. Sam and his wife are meeting their daughter's boyfriend's parents. During dinner, Sam makes a play for the bathroom, but is actually going to treat the bedroom like a fucking Macy's. He almost gets busted, and what a drop! While outside, Sam gets his purse snatched, causing a huge disturbance, and his wife calling him out. Later that night,
I'm perverted. I'm unfit to function with normal, decent people. I would have understood.
I'm going to see Dr. Fillmore next week.
Oh, I'm glad.
You're wonderful.
Jesus Christ! Young Asian girls? It's a perversion game show with Regis Philbin!
Are you... I'll take a wild guess. Are you a rapist?
Hardly.
No.
Hardly.
No.
The fuck?
I think I have. Do you molest children?
The fuck? There's a fantasy winner that ends up like this. Moving on. Probably not.
Let me have 50 cents worth of regular.
50 cents for gas? The hell? Victor is heading to Dr. Bernardo's to assist in studying the sexual phenomenon, has picked up Helen on the way there. They arrive at a spooky house, meeting Igor at the door and John Carradine.
I was the first one to explain the connection between excessive masturbation and entering politics. It was I who first said that clitoral orgasm should not be only for women.
Hearing John Carradine say this shit is wild, and I fucking love it. They head to the laboratory, and what the fuck?
In here I have 20 scouts. I want to measure your respiration when they gang-bang you.
Holy shit. They're taken captive, but Victor breaks free and fights John Carradine, torching the lab in the process. Then they fucking leave.
What's wrong, Victor?
I think the battery's dead and we're out of gas, oil, and water.
Well, I guess you didn't get your 50 cents worth. Oh, Jesus. Hey, it's Tony Randall. And Burt fucking Reynolds.
Brain to stomach, brain to stomach.
Stomach to brain. Over.
Food coming down.
What kind?
Fettuccine.
Jesus Christ. Italian food coming down.
Oh, I get it. This is like an ultra cool 1970s version of Inside Out. And here's the sperm.
I'm not going out there. I'm not going to get shot out of that thing. What if he's masturbating? I'm liable to wind up on the ceiling.
Or in an old sweat sock. And everyone works together to get it on. Everything you always wanted to know about sex, asterisk but were afraid to ask, is a very clunky film that plods through the chapter titles of the best-selling book. Apparently, legend has it that Woody Allen made this movie after hearing the author make one of his jokes, steal one of his jokes, and use it on the Johnny Carson show. The author didn't like this movie. Most films of the era didn't age well, but when your whole subject matter is sex, it's going to be more pronounced in the 45 plus years since this film's been released. There are a few standouts that won't surprise you. Gene Wilder, John Carradine, Tony Randall, Burt Reynolds. But the film as a whole is just really lacking. It's funny because it feels like a chore to get through this thing, even though its running time is around 90 minutes. Honestly, I'm going to say this is not Woody Allen's finest hour.
You are insane.